So, Glitch, you
Yeah.
know that you're probably the second most wealthy individual in the Imperium besides myself?
How?
King Burger, you still, after taxes, which your estate had been paying, so no worries about our IRS, but you have the equivalent wealth of $3.4 billion.
Of course the Imperium has a fucking IRS. You
Look,
can't tell
Look at me.
steal from your
I can't
people,
even
King.
spell economics, so this is lost on me.
Look, to be fair, I'm more surprised because sometimes I genuinely forget the Imperium has King Burger. Although it's less that I forget that the Imperium has King Burger, and more I forget that I still get royalties for that.
Yeah, it's even weirder that King Burger wasn't your idea, and yet you still get paid for it.
It wasn't originally mine.
Just like an American.
Oh. That's not entirely true.
Okay.
Oh,
So anyways,
I-
what's going on?
We're being attacked
Tusken
by a
Raiders.
group of Tusken Raiders. I forgot. I forgot we were doing this last part. Because that's right. Walker wasn't here last week.
Yeah, no, I was
Like most of what
playing
we
Russian
were
roulette
doing.
with a semi-auto.
Most of what we were doing last week is just fucking taking on Tusken Raiders. I know there was story stuff, but it was mostly just taking on Tusken Raiders.
So wait, if you're taking on Tusken Raiders, does that mean you're on Tatooine?
Yes.
Why the fuck does everything go back to Tatooine?
Secretly, it's the center of the Star Wars galaxy, the Star Wars universe.
What?
That's not even a fucking secret. It just is. It's a well-known, well-established fact that
Well, that,
if
and this
something
is this is the earliest point in history that we've actually seen Tatooine be settled by anyone other than the natives.
And it's just funnier to me
This is like,
that Tusken Raiders exist this far back in the timeline.
Well,
because
they're
they're the
native.
natives.
Oh, right. Well, I was actually gonna say, like, we're gonna find out Tatooine, like Big Bang created Star Wars universe. Tatooine existed, and literally, it's not that they evolved from a primitive creature. The first creatures on Tatooine were the Tusken Raiders.
Yes. the first bipedal, like,
Well, the species that would also become the Jawas as well, because that's a split evolution.
Wait, really?
Yes.
neat.
Yeah, I shouldn't. To be fair, I should not be as surprised as I am to that, because I'm thinking about it. It's like, okay, that actually makes a bit of sense because what we've seen of both species, they are pretty similar. But it's also like, man, I'm more upset that I didn't already know that. So a little off topic from Star Wars, but I did want to say this. So one of the reasons why I almost completely forgot to upload parts to the gameplay channel for a week, which hopefully by the time this part actually goes up on the channel, that will be resolved. I have been busy with a couple other things, mostly mostly personal projects, because I want to get out. I wanted to get out my review of Good Boy Galaxy, which like, even by the time this goes up on channel, I don't know if that review is going to be ready. I just know that I've been working on it.
I
Hey-
would ask what Good Boy Galaxy is, but I guess I'll have to wait until the video. And then pretend like I watched the video.
Yeah, pretend you watched the video. So Good Boy Galaxy is actually recent Game Boy Advance game that was made by a bunch of fans. It is essentially like a Metroidvania that takes a lot of creative liberties with the genre. One of which being you don't have a typical you don't have a typical health bar. Your health bar is actually close to a Mario game, where you if your character has a shield, you can take 2 hits before dying and returning to a checkpoint.
That's not a Mario game. Mario game is you get hit once, you're done.
Twice if you have a mushroom.
The mushroom.
3 if you're playing Galaxy.
But that's not a health bar.
Yeah, that's
by the way,
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like
by the way, the Tuscans will legit attack you here if you do not have HK-47.
So you need everyone's favorite murder bot to get here.
Yeah, and not murder everyone.
I love the subtitle translation. Translation unintelligible.
Well, they are Tuscans.
I think he's saying his
Who cares what
macaroni
their
is cold.
gobbledygook means? Just kill them. Kill them all. Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Walker,
Hi,
are you
Sadie.
encouraging genocide again?
Look, they're
I
Tuscan.
don't know what day is it.
Look, they're Tuscan Raiders. At some point, they kind of deserve it.
Walker, if you do, I'm gonna call the Universal Council and your mama.
The Universal Council wouldn't do anything. The Universal Council would say it's justified. Remember, these are Tuscan
I have
Raiders. we're talking about.
Okay,
to be fair,
don't
they're
call
also-
his mama.
Casey, what are you trying to say?
The Tuscans have been attacking the settlers. I mean, granted, they have a decent reason to, because, well, we'll get there when we get there. But it also involves the fact that this planet used to be basically a beach planet.
There used to be
I can
water on
understand.
Tatooine.
Yeah, it wasn't always a sandball.
Huh.
Neat.
I don't know why I didn't expect that.
So now we have to go and
Why
get
didn't
moisture.
I expect that? It couldn't have been uninhabitable for however long existence has been, and people still settle there. It would have had to, at some point, be habitable, and then shit got fucked.
I
have a dog.
finally remember what I was saying earlier.
You were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying something before we went back to the game that we're supposed to be commenting over.
Must not have
Is
been
it
that
ga-
important.
Does it give Rumpy a snack?
No.
Please.
No.
I got chocolate.
I mean, he'd probably still eat it.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like chocolate, but I'm just not feeling it right now. You know what I mean?
Anyway, going back to what I was actually talking about. So while editing Good Boy Galaxy, I have already decided, all right, I'm going to work on another project that I think would make for an interesting project, and inadvertently decided, all right, the next major project I'm going to do is going to be I'm going to do a review retrospective on literally every Neopets video game.
Everyone?
Yep.
Everyone!
Everyone!
Greetings again from the office.
So
I see that.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get the.
Then I'll take those off.
So when I call you an idiot,
We don't have
it's
any-
for a good reason.
Yeah, no, for
I should remind you
at
that
least
you
in
are
this
not
point, it's
welcome.
justified.
Farewell.
I mean, it's always justified.
Eh.
I know you.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
But there's also
What?
there's
You
also
got something to say?
a lot of
I was gonna do
games,
something funny.
a lot of games that I'm almost certain people didn't even realize existed that are based on Neopets. Like there's a Neopets DS game which I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I'm actually currently playing.
Like right now?
I plead the fifth.
You were great help on Terrace.
Okay, so right now. He's playing it right now.
But there is a Neopets game for the DS which is literally just Go. Just the board game Go, but with a Neopet skin.
There's a board game called Go.
Weird.
Responsible for the Jedi Council, but give me a hand here. There has to be a
What do you do in it? Stop?
Obviously. No.
Wait a minute.
Go is basically.
No, I didn't mean that you weren't wanted or that I want to go. It's just.
How do I describe it?
Damn it. Well, I'll tell you this much. I'm not going to wait around until.
With words.
Use your words, Glitchy.
I can't. That's the problem.
Well, write it down, and then use those words.
If I could use my words in the first place, if I could write it down, then I would be able to describe it with words.
Well, just try to help.
It would also be
Sounds
easier.
like a skill issue.
I mean,
Wait, for him or me?
Him.
Oh.
it'd be easier if I knew where I put my.
You're able to use your words.
Yeah, some of them are the wrong ones, but still words.
Yes, I am very fluent in both English and dog.
Was there really just a village over that fucking? There really is just a village over this fucking hill, isn't there?
Probably.
Most likely. There's my phone.
Son of a bitch, I will have to come back to this shit later. Well, hill is a bit of an understatement. It's over it's on the other side of a fucking mountain.
See. Go is a board game of East Asian origin, popular in China, Korea, and especially Japan, the country with its most closely identified. Probably the world's oldest board game, thought to have originated in China some 4,000 years ago. Hang on. Go is played with 181 black pieces and 180 white pieces on a square wooden board, checkered by 19 vertical lines and 19 horizontal lines. Basically, you and your opponent keep putting down pieces on the board, and if you put down pieces in a certain place, you can actually flip over your opponent's pieces, meaning you now own that.
Oh, okay. I know this game.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, they force you to play it in Warframe, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I never won.
Yeah, imagine that,
Well,
but
first
as
race
a
of the
game targeted towards kids within like the 7 to 12-year-old range.
I'll use my very
Yep, this is one of the few times that you'll actually see me play Pazak.
Holy shit, we're finally playing Pazak again!
Yay!
It's been 3,000 years.
I'm sorry, you're doing what?
Gambling.
Woo! Gambling, the rich people's sport. My dad constantly watches The Daily Show, and they have a running joke called Sports War, sponsored by gambling. Every time they mention gambling, they have a different subtitle for it. There's some actually pretty funny gags that have come from that, though. Actually, come to think of it, I want to see if I can find one of the quotes.
That sucks.
Bing, bing.
Would you like to have another round?
I think I mentioned this in another part, but when looking up Neopets video games, one of the video games is for a fucking Leapfrog game console.
It's almost as if the thing you're looking for is made for children.
Yeah, but at least in all of the other games are like actual, for the most part, actual games. Anything for Leapfrog systems are very specifically educational, even if they're inspired by, like, the same system that Neopets game is on also has multiple Star Wars games.
Don't you just love it when you can market a franchise where people die miserably to kids?
Yeah.
Moyangare, 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 kantamu.
I'm waiting for
You shut the fuck up.
I'm waiting for Casey to stop screaming in my ear. But yeah, I love the Mortal Kombat cartoon. And the RoboCop one, and Toxic Avenger.
What was I about to say? Batman.
Batman makes a little more sense as a kid's cartoon. Because, like, Batman is at least it's a superhero, you can tone things down. Like,
he's not a superhero.
Oh yeah, that's right, Batman's rich.
Yeah. He solves his problems the way none of us can. With money.
Oh, sometimes he beats
superpower.
Sometimes he beats the shit out of criminals.
Oh yeah, beats.
I think you mean homeless people.
Mentally ill is the correct term.
Good. You don't want that to. Yeah, you gotta correct the phrasing.
Do you know something about that?
I'm not answering that.
The squirrel would like to plead the fifth.
The squirrel doesn't get to plead the fifth.
Look, just because you got a point. He doesn't get to plead the fifth. However, he still would like to. That's
I'm pretty sure a citizen somewhere.
Squirrel Stanison. That wasn't even the one I was going to say. You can't prove it's not a place.
I can prove it's not a place.
Ready.
Don't help him.
Yes, help the squirrel. The squirrel is your squirrel.
The squirrel is my lunch. So
Walker, don't eat the squirrel.
Alright, I'll be right back. Nobody say anything offensive until I get back. That goes double for you, squirrel.
Well, you.
The offending joke has been removed, and Walker was fined $5. We now return to your war stars.
you know what? You're right. We might have to cut this part. Just make an image of like I don't know, a crying squirrel where it says technical difficulties and like a hammer hitting the squirrel.
If I could, I would draw a picture of Sophie chewing on some wires. Well, actually, I could probably do that, but I need some time.
I mean, he's not uploading this immediately.
Yeah, that's true. I could probably put something together.
Yeah. Just like a 2-frame animation of
Oh, 2 frame. That's asking too much. I could just make a picture, but
He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. They will not attack, and he grants you his chieftain's gaffy as reward. Translation.
well, you don't know how to animate?
And he will allow
dude, I don't know how to. Dude, I have no experience with animation.
protocol. If you truly want
I mean, I know a lot of trivia and stuff, but I have no experience with practicing the medium, so.
this will be a very sensitive
Oh shit, Bunky.
My little brother knows how to animate, I think. I mean, he took classes for it,
Oh.
but I don't know if he
Sounds
actually
awesome.
knows how to do it.
His people believe they are part of the land, living with it. You and your kind dare to
Then again,
raise yourself above it. You remove yourself.
not his fault, but he did get kicked out of school.
Ooh.
Translation.
Again, not his fault.
What happened? Tuition prices?
I'm not telling you while we're recording.
Outsiders use
Ow.
machines to convey them and to make their lives easier. This severs a connection
Okay.
with the land.
Sorry.
Simply put, the desert.
Sorry.
Soil
Simply put,
made through flesh. A sacred
here's where we get into the Tuscan philosophy.
to be used.
They have
You're
philosophy?
basically, yeah, they're basically druids.
Don't try and get me to like the Tuscan Raiders.
He says that the use of these blasphemous things will only be tolerated because outsider interference has forced it upon
What's wrong with you?
Translation. If you're kind enough.
Alright, what are we getting canceled
Fine.
for this time?
Protocol.
Well,
Translation.
I did kind of
He says
make a
translation. His people found it.
bad joke.
Translation.
Alright, well, for that, you're not getting these chips and queso I have.
Chips and queso?
You're not getting any either, but mostly because I want to see you suffer.
Dude, if I wanted
Let's
chips and
eat, I
queso, I'd go
swear.
downstairs and reheat my leftovers from last night.
Oh, well then.
You're lucky it's late and I can't just go buy some queso. Glitch.
Oh,
Hold
well,
on. What time is it?
and-
It's only 8:30. You can definitely go to Walmart and pick up some queso.
You know I'm on a different time zone than you guys, right?
No, I didn't.
yeah, he lives in the magical, mystical land of Florida.
The human zoo!
Why? Why would you live in Jurassic Park?
I don't know why I'm stuck in God's waiting room. I think I may have did something to him in a previous life.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. For a decent chunk of his life, he didn't have a choice. And the
now?
reason, the reason now, probably just can't afford to move.
Who can? Omar, apparently.
Yeah, Omar apparently glares at Omar living in Oklahoma.
And me! I can move too.
Yeah, you can move your fat ass off of that couch.
Okay, getting punted into space doesn't count as moving.
I mean, it kind of does.
You know what? You!
That's not a permanent residence. He eventually comes back. Moving is a change in permanent residence.
Yeah, there's plenty of trees around, Walker. It's easy for me. I mean, I have to kick the ass of a bird once in a while, but still.
Oh no, I don't think you're holding up in the fight against a bird.
Yeah, you know what? It occurs to me. Of course, Safi can afford to move. He doesn't pay rent.
Hey,
He also doesn't have a job.
No, he has a
I
job.
am a lawyer.
Are you in currently?
Grumpy, shut the hell up.
Weren't you disbarred like several times?
Shut up.
I'm tired of waiting.
No,
Cole.
Literally,
like bring that up. It's funny.
literally every time he practices, he gets hit with a malpractice suit.
Is it?
Walker, I swear to God.
Hang on, is it malpractice for like doctors?
It's for anybody who does their job wrong on purpose.
Anyway, that's the end. Of
Okay,
the part. That's the end of the
okay.
part.
So I guess we shouldn't hit him with a malpractice. He's not doing it on purpose. He's just incompetent.
Guys, I think you should probably stop. Everyone will catch up with you later. Sophie is looking pissed right now, and I'll kill you,
I mean, we can always just punt him into space again.